students. Now we are going to start the second lecture of our chapter, that is natural resource. Now in this lecture we are going to look at the very first natural resource that we are going to study, and the very first natural resource that we are going to study is air or atmosphere. Air or atmosphere. Now what is atmosphere? First we all know air we all need to breathe and to survive. Now what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is a multi-layered the multi-layered, transparent and protective envelope. It is a transparent and protective envelope. It is a multi-layered, transparent and protective envelope of gases. Of gases. Atmosphere is filled with gases surrounding the planet Earth. Surrounding the planet Earth is called as atmosphere. Now, this is the very basic definition of atmosphere. That what is atmosphere? It is an envelope of gases that is surrounded by the planet Earth. It is an envelope of gases and it is multi-layered. That means it is divided in layers. It is transparent and it is a protective envelope, and it is surrounding the planet Earth. Now, in other words, we can say that atmosphere In other words, atmosphere is the layer of air Atmosphere is the layer of air above the Earth's surface. It is a layer of air above the Earth's surface. Above the Earth's surface. And air is a mixture of several gases. Atmosphere is just a layer of air. Atmosphere is a layer of air, and air is a mixture of gases. And air is a mixture of gases. Air is a mixture of gases. Now, about 95% of total air. Now, what are the mixture of gases and what are the gases present in the atmosphere? We are going to discuss that. Ninety-five percent, about 95% of the total air is present. About 95% of the total air is present up to the height of 20 kilometer. Up to the height of 20 kilometer. 90% of air is present up to the height of 20 kilometer only, and remaining 5% is above, and remaining 5% remaining 5% is up to the height of 280 kilometer. Is up to the height Remaining 5% is up to the height of 280 kilometers. I hope this is clear to all of you that what is atmosphere and what is air. Atmosphere is a layers of air, and air is mixture of gases. Now The next topic that we are going to study about is what is the composition of air. Now we all know that air is a mixture of gases. So there are certain number of gases present in the air, and we have to one side we are going to tell their relative percentage or volume. Their relative percentage, or we can say that as volume. Now the very first and the maximum amount of air present, the maximum amount of gas present very first is nitrogen. Nitrogen is present in 78.08 percentage. The next main gas present is oxygen, and oxygen is present in 20.94 percentage, and in general in rounded off figure we can write is at 21% also. Now the next gas present is argon. Argon is present in 0.9 percentage. The next is carbon dioxide. The next is carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is present in 0.03 percentage. And there are certain other amount of gases that are helium, neon, krypton, xenon. These are the gases that are present in trace amounts, that in very little amounts, in trace amounts that cannot be counted and that cannot be measured. Now I hope this is clear that we have studied the composition of air. The maximum number percentage of gas present is nitrogen and oxygen. The maximum amount of gases that are present in is nitrogen and oxygen. And now we are going to study some other things about composition of air. That is, beside these gaseous components, besides these gaseous components, besides these gaseous components, air also possesses air also possesses water vapor, industrial gases, industrial gases, dust particles, smoke particles, dust, smoke particles, microorganisms. There are certain level of microorganisms that are present in air. So microorganisms, pollen grains, fungal spores, etc. Now these are some other substances that are also present in air, that is water vapor, industrial gases, dust and smoke particles, fungal spores, pollen grains and microorganisms. Now the next topic that we are going to study about is different zones of atmosphere. Now we all know that there are different layers of atmosphere. There are different layers of air in the atmosphere. Now these are regarded as zones. The different layers are the different zones of atmosphere. Now the very first zone in the atmosphere is troposphere. The second one is stratosphere. The third one is mesosphere, and there is the last and the fourth one that is called as ionosphere. Now we are going to study them one by one, and these are the four layers of or four zones of atmosphere. These are the four zones of atmosphere, and they are divided on depending on the height. That what are the height of this zones. Now the very first one we are going to discuss is troposphere. Now what is troposphere? It is a basal part. It is the basal part. It is the basal part of atmosphere that extends about 8 to 16 kilometer. That extends about 8 to 16 kilometer above the Earth's surface. That extends about 8 to 16 kilometer above the Earth's surface. Above the Earth's surface. Now, in this layer, important climatic events occur. In this layer, important climatic events, important climatic events occur. And what are the important climatic events such as cloud formation? Such as cloud formation happens here. So cloud formation. The second one is lightning, thundering, lightning, thundering, etc. Now, in this region, air temperature gradually decreases with height. In this region or in this region, air temperature gradually decreases. The air temperature gradually decreases. Gradually decreases. I am writing it in capital because this is important. Decreases with height. And its upper limit is called as tropopause. And its upper limit means if it starts from 8 to 16, then 16 from 14 to 16 is the upper limit. So upper limit is called tropopause. Now, with this, the next topic that we are going to study about is stratosphere. Now, it lies just next to troposphere. It lies just next to troposphere. And is up to 50-kilometer high. And is up to 50-kilometer high. Now, in this layer, temperature rises. Temperature decreases in the troposphere, but in this layer, temperature rises. In this layer, temperature rises. And there is a formation of ozone layer in this layer. And there is the formation of ozone layer. In troposphere, there is cloud formation. In stratosphere, there is ozone layer formation. So, there is a formation of ozone layer. There is a formation of ozone layer in this region. There is a formation of ozone layer in this region which can absorb the harmful ultraviolet rays, which can absorb the harmful ultraviolet rays it ozone layer has a property to absorb the harmful UV rays or ultraviolet rays that are coming from the sun. So, coming from sun. Now, the next region that we are going to talk about is mesosphere. Now, in mesosphere, it lies next to stratosphere. It lies next to stratosphere. It just lies next to stratosphere and is up to 80 kilometer in height. And it is up to 80 kilometer in height. And and in this region also temperature decreases. Temperature decreases in this region. Temperature just decreases in this region. Now, I hope this is clear to all of you. Now, the next zone we are going to discuss about is ionosphere. Now, in ionosphere, it lies up to 400 kilometer. It lies up to 400 kilometer above Earth's surface. Above Earth's surface. It lies up to 400 kilometer above Earth's surface. In this layer, gaseous components, ionosphere is called ionosphere because in this layer, gaseous components in this layer, gaseous components become ionized due to sun's energy. There is sun energy, so the gaseous components just become ionized. So due to sun's energy, and remain there as ions. That's why it is known as ionosphere and remains there as ions. Now, The next topic that we are going to discuss is different regions of atmosphere. Now these are the different zones and different regions of atmosphere. Now we are going to talk about what is the range of distance and density there. So in troposphere, the range of distance is in troposphere, the range of distance is about 11 kilometers above the Earth's surface. 11 kilometers from Earth's surface. And the density of air is highest. And the density of air is highest. And what is the importance of troposphere? So we are going to discuss the importance. So importance of troposphere is most of the atmospheric air is present here. We know that most of the 95% of the atmospheric air is between 20 kilometers region only. So most of the atmospheric air is present here, and that's why it is a medium for locomotion of flying animals. It is a medium of locomotion for flying animals. For flying animals. So discussing about troposphere, it is a medium of locomotion for flying animals. It also helps in cloud formation. Cloud formation happens in troposphere only, and the density of air is highest. And here the density of air is highest. Now we are going to discuss about stratosphere. In stratosphere, the range of distance is about 50 kilometers from the Earth's surface. About 50 kilometers from Earth's surface. And the density of air is less than troposphere. And the density of air is less than troposphere. Is less than troposphere. Now, the importance of stratosphere is that it contains ozone layer. It contains ozone layer that traps most of the UV rays and cosmic rays of the sun. That traps most of the UV rays, and cosmic rays of sun. And cosmic rays of sun. Now we are going to discuss about the mesosphere and thermosphere. Now we are going to discuss about mesosphere. So the range of distance is 80 kilometers. So the range of distance in mesosphere is 80 kilometers. 80 kilometers from the surface of Earth. From the surface of Earth and the density of air is generally low, and the density of air is generally low. Now talking about the thermosphere, it is between the mesosphere and the ionosphere, and it is a range of distance is about the range of distance is about 100 kilometers up, upwards or above the earth's surface. 100 kilometers upwards or above the earth's surface, and the density is extremely low in this, and the density of air is extremely low. Density is extremely low, and it doesn't have any density. Now the importance of thermosphere is that reflect radio waves back to earth. It reflects radio waves back to earth, and artificial satellites are present here, and the artificial satellites are present in the thermosphere only. So artificial satellites are present here. Now the next topic we are going to look at is with diagram. We are going to understand the different regions of atmosphere. At very low or from 0 to 20 degree, there is troposphere or tropopause, and from 40 to 60 there is stratosphere or stratopause, and above that there is mesosphere. So there it is given that here cloud formation happens. There warm cloud forms. Here mixed phase clouds are formed. Here ice clouds are formed. That is also known as cirrus. Here polar stratospheric clouds. The forming of clouds are given here. That PSCs are formed, and here no nucleated clouds are formed, and they are also called as NLCs. Now with this, I hope that it is clear that troposphere at the bottomest, and then stratosphere and then mesosphere. I hope this is clear to all of you. And now with this, we are going to look. And now with this, we are going to look at some of the questions. Now, the very first question is that how is our atmosphere different from the atmosphere of Venus and Mars? So we all know that our atmosphere is different, and Earth is the only planet where life is possible. So why is that happens? Because Earth's atmosphere is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen. Our atmosphere is a mixture. So Earth's atmosphere is a mixture. It is a mixture of of nitrogen that is present in around 79%, and oxygen that is present in around 20%, and there are a small fraction and a small fraction and a small fraction of carbon dioxide, that is CO2, water vapors, water vapors and other gases. and other gases. Now, due to this, because there are oxygen and nitrogen present in the air and in the atmosphere, this makes the existence of life possible on Earth. Because the atmosphere is there, this makes the existence of life possible on Earth. This makes the existence of life possible on Earth. However, the atmosphere, now if we are going to discuss the atmosphere of Venus and Mars, so however, the atmosphere of Venus and Mars, the atmosphere of Venus and Mars are mainly consist of carbon dioxide. They mainly consist of, that means the maximum amount of gas that is present is carbon dioxide. Mainly consists of carbon dioxide. They mainly consist of carbon dioxide, and the amount of carbon dioxide on these planets, the amounts of carbon dioxide, the amounts of carbon dioxide or CO2 on these planets range between range from 95% to 97%. I hope this is clear to all of you, because we have nitrogen and oxygen as the major gases, and Venus and Mars have CO2 as a major gas. So our atmospheres are different. Now the next question that we are going to look at is, how does the atmosphere act as a blanket? So because the atmosphere act as a blanket, because the atmosphere prevents the sudden increase in temperature, prevents the sudden increase in temperature the atmosphere prevents the sudden increase in temperature during the daylight, during the daylight hours, and and during the night during the night it slows down the escape of heat, it slows down the escape of heat, that means the it doesn't allows heat to escape out into the outer scape, slows down the escape of heat into the outer space, slows down the escape of heat into the outer space, and in this way atmosphere acts as a blanket, and in this way the atmosphere acts as a blanket, atmosphere acts as a blanket. Now with this, we are going to end the lecture here only, and thank you everyone.